All Boo wants to do is pace around the room, jump on the counter. I think it's because this room is for like gerbils and, guinea pigs and stuff like that. He smells something.
Stella, Splash, Simba, Boo, Sammy, Richard, Nancy, Goldie, Ziggy, Ringo, Eva, Hydrox, and Ditto, the Lucky Ferals.
It is 8 a.m. Here's Simba. Good morning, Simba. How are you today? You doing, Simba? You okay? You still sleepy? Okay. I got a pretty good night's sleep. I went to bed on time. I was in bed by 11, I think. And I slept great until about 3 a.m. Then I woke up for a little while. Then I went back to sleep. And I feel like I had a great night's sleep. My fitness watch says it wasn't so great because I wasn't really in deep sleep or REM most of the time. But I'll take whatever I could get. Right, Simba? And here's Splashy. Give me a pet, Splashy. And last night I set these little automatic feeders for Splash and Simba with just a little bit of dry food in there. They went off around, 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, just to give them something to nibble on so that they don't vomit, because Simba has that problem that if he goes too long without food, he vomits like some clear liquid. So hopefully that'll work. I was very happy to see Boo yesterday. And I'm glad our visit went well. And I'm hoping today goes well also. I don't want to get myself happy or excited over, the fact that Boo was really energetic and, was in good spirits. And he seemed, good. Because, when Stella was in the emergency room, they told me, oh, she's doing well, everything's fine. And then the next day wasn't that good. So I'm hoping for the best for Boo. I'm hoping, he cooperates with everyone. He does well. The IV fluids that they give him, help bring his numbers down. And that he can come home, sooner rather than later. And I'm hoping his test results come back okay. And then we'll just figure out the course of treatment. Right, Simba? So this morning, around 5 a.m., someone up here was howling. I think it was Splash. I'm pretty sure it was Splash. Here's Splash now. And I felt so bad for him. I felt like he was howling because he's looking for Boo or Stella or he missed them. Because the way he was howling is how Ringo howls when Ringo's like looking for other members of the Lucky Seven. Or sometimes Ringo howls like that by the back door. Like, I don't know who he's looking for, but I felt bad for Splash, but Splash will be okay. He has Simba. The two of them are buddies. The cherry tree in front of my house has started to bloom, so at least that's nice.
I'm the doctor caring for Boo in hospital today.
Okay.
I just wanted to update you and go over a plan for today if you have time.
Yes, that'd be great.
Okay, so I saw Boo ate a little with you last night when you visited. That's great. He did not have any other interest in food overnight, though, since then. No vomiting, urinating normally, no defecations. He was a little nervous in hospital last night.
Yeah.
Was starting to kind of try to bolt out of his cage, things like that. So we did start anti-anxiety medication last night, and he does calmer with that this morning.
Yeah, when I visited with him in the room, he was very nervous, like he was trying to escape. Yeah. And like when he saw me, he didn't want me to leave. So so I feel bad, but I mean, should I visit him again like today in the afternoon to try to get him to eat lunch?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. If you're free this afternoon, I think that'd be good, especially because he's eating with you and he doesn't seem to be eating otherwise. I'm sure he's more comfortable with you.
Yeah, that's so. I was like, should I come by twice today and then again at 8 p.m. to try to get him to eat later?
Yeah, if you'd like to and you're available, I think that's great.
Yeah, I'm available. I just, I don't want to disturb anything that's going on with him today, but how's he doing otherwise?
Yeah, so his kidney values this morning are still pretty elevated, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They're about the same as yesterday. They did not improve. They're a little bit worse than yesterday, but about the same.
Okay.
We have the sampling that was sent out yesterday on the kidney and the spleen. We're still waiting for the results on that. like we discussed yesterday, there is some concern that there is a cancerous process
Yeah.
causing what we saw on the ultrasound. So we're going to keep an eye out for that, and we'll talk about results once they come back to us.
Yeah.
One thing that did happen this morning that's newer for Boo is it does look like his face is swollen on morning exam. So more so than typical for him. I know he's kind of a bigger cat with some chunky cheeks, but it does seem like he has some edema at this point, especially under his chin. So I have some concern that there could be fluid going outside of his veins and into his tissues.
Okay.
When I think about reasons for this, one thing that's very possible with him is he has low protein in his blood because he's losing it either through his intestines that looked abnormal, or he's losing protein through his kidneys. We saw there was protein loss in his kidneys. So I'm checking the blood level of that protein today to see if it is low, and maybe that's contributing to it. Aside from that, other things that would cause it are inflammation of the vessels, causing fluid to be lost through them, or a clot that went up towards his head and caused this to collect. I think at this point, we'll start with the blood work, and we'll see what that shows, and then we can kind of go from there. Another test we could consider this afternoon, depending on what you'd like to do and what that blood work shows, is an echocardiogram, just to assess his heart and make sure there's no kind of clots in his heart or anything that could be causing anything like this. On exam, his heart, it sounds normal. I don't hear a murmur. I don't hear an arrhythmia. But cats can be sneaky, and sometimes they have heart disease without really showing it. So I think that's something to keep in mind. And up to you as well. If you feel that you'd like to do that now, we can get him signed up for that today. If you feel like we want to start with the blood work and go from there, we can always do that.
I mean, what do you think is best?
I think if you feel comfortable with it, I'd like to see what the blood work shows.
Okay.
And then if we have a really obvious answer there, like if the blood protein's very low,
that's
very likely the cause. If it's not very low, then I think we should consider having the cardiologist look at him.
Okay. And is there a way, if it is low, is there a way to correct that?
Yeah. So we probably would have to do supplementation.
Okay.
And we can, if we find that that's something he's dealing with, we'll discuss it further.
Yeah, I'm concerned he's not getting enough food, because the day I brought him in, he really didn't eat more than a few licks. And then, he didn't eat at all yesterday, because I know they didn't want to feed him before, the ultrasound and stuff, and then the biopsies. So, he ate a little bit when I was with him, but, I wasn't there that long to get him to eat more. So that's why, I'd like to come as much as I can today to try to get him to eat again.
Definitely. I agree. I also have the same concern that he's probably not eating what he should be.
Yeah.
And I think it's great if you can come and encourage him to eat, since he's more comfortable with you.
Yeah, so what can I schedule?
So what is your availability this afternoon?
I could come as soon as you got, as I can. I work from home, and my schedule is very flexible.
Okay. Do you think you could come sometime between now and 1:30 is generally when we have visiting hours?
Yeah, I mean, I could probably be there between 1:15, 1:30.
Okay, perfect. Why don't you plan for that? And then I'm here so we can talk a little more in person, too, about kind of what's ongoing for him. Okay.
We did sampling of the spleen and sampling of the kidney, and neither of them said, yes, this is definitely cancer.
Do you need to do another one?
So at this point, with what we're seeing and all his signs overall, we're trying to put together, is there one thing that's causing all these issues?
Yeah.
He came in not feeling great, not eating great, and then we did these tests, and we found he has an odd-looking spleen. His kidneys are both very large, and then his intestines look very thickened. When I look through his historical blood work, though, he's had markers previously of what looks like he may have had thickened intestines in the past, and maybe we just hadn't caught it yet. So I can't say for sure that his intestines are related to what's going on now. I think it could be, but it could be just something separate, that he has chronic intestinal disease, which in cats is most likely either inflammatory bowel disease, so he has inflammation of the intestines that can be diet, steroid responsive, or he has small cell lymphoma of his intestines.
Okay.
The only way to differentiate between those two themselves is with a biopsy of the intestine. So if we wanted to do that,
But you would have that couldn't be a needle biopsy.
that would be a anesthetic procedure. We would do a scope, so like a small camera, kind of like, you know, people get colonoscopies, but we would go through his mouth with the small camera and we would take tissue samples.
So he would have to be put out for that.
That would be anesthesia, yes. Again, I can't say for sure at this point, is that related to what's going on now, or is that something we're seeing that he's always had?
Yeah.
And we're just seeing today, and it's just been some time he's had it, so it looks very inflamed.
Yeah.
The other things that are going on, he's so sweet. The other things that are going on, the spleen and the very big kidneys. The spleen, the way it looks, you know, we didn't see any obvious organisms or anything on the testing. But usually when there's kind of inflammation in multiple places, the thing I get most concerned for is there an infection that's in his spleen too, or is there a cancer? So those still are just our big two things, and we haven't found which is the cause at this point. Kidneys,
did the urine culture come back?
The urine culture did come back negative.
Okay.
So that's the other thing. The kidneys, which are very large, because they're both very big, my biggest concern is he had some kind of acute injury to his kidneys. Whether it is an infiltrative disease, infection, or cancer, or did he get into a toxin? Did he have anything that he ate that could have affected his
I can't
kidneys?
imagine.
Okay.
Because he's not that kind of cat to eat stuff.
No, like lilies in your house?
None.
Anything like
Back in August, he had blood tests and all the kidney values were fine. He had 4 teeth removed in September.
Right.
And like everything was fine then. And then he was like fine the rest of the year. So I don't know. It's strange.
Yeah, and I agree. And from the testing that we're doing, it seems to be some kind of, he's trying to climb.
Yeah, yesterday, that's why I was trying to like put this up there to like block it.
Yeah.
Because he wants to jump out. He wants to go home.
Yeah.
You know, I don't blame him.
Yeah. It seems to be some kind of sudden cause that's affected his kidneys, because he's otherwise, like, he looks good. He doesn't look very skinny, unhealthy, and now he has these very elevated kidney values. And then unfortunately, it was very possible that he had a kidney infection, and that could improve with some antibiotics. We did start the antibiotic just in case, but it doesn't seem that he has a kidney infection with what we're seeing on the testing.
Okay.
So at this point, I think our options are, we continue to support him and we see how he does. With fluids, I'm having the testing run now to look at his blood proteins. Is that low? Is that why he has swelling on his neck?
Yeah.
Or is it related to a clot or something? Inflammation of his vessels.
Yeah.
The other thing I just want to put on the table and offer to you, and it's very owner dependent on what you're looking to invest in. Gold standard at this point for what he's experiencing, acute kidney injury, would be dialysis. That's not something we offer here. That is something that if you're interested, we could work on consulting and transferring him to another facility for that, where they filter the
And who
blood
does that?
and get toxins out. If that's something you're interested in, what that looks like is he stays in hospital. He usually has dialysis every day for a few days until his kidney values improve. And then he additionally is just on fluids in the meantime. The other thing that could be considered if we're looking to do everything is with the dialysis doing a biopsy of his kidney, because they're so big and we're not sure exactly what's going on there. You know, we sent out a cell sample, just put a needle into the kidney, but without a tissue sample, we don't always get a great sample. So a lot of the time that would give us the most information. If that's something you're interested in as well, it's not something we do here, but usually facilities that do dialysis would be able to facilitate that.
And for that, that's like an operation. He has to be put out, right?
That would be general anesthesia. Yeah, depending on the facility, I believe there are some, probably AMC, if you went up to Cornell in Ithaca, or if you went down to Penn in Philadelphia, they may be able to do it laparoscopically. But generally it's like a surgical biopsy. So there's an incision into his abdomen, we take a biopsy and close it back up and send out that tissue sample. Those are all things that are options. It's I just want to make sure that they're talked about with you.
No, I appreciate that. Do you think he's at the point where he needs dialysis immediately, or do you think a few more days of maybe trying fluids here could work?
I think we can continue to try. My concern is we've already done, at least a day and a half, almost a couple day of fluids, and we're not seeing improvement. We're actually seeing the kidney values go up a bit. So I think we could definitely continue and see how it goes and make a decision, but I think if we're considering dialysis, today would be a good time to consider it. Because we're really not seeing too much improvement so far.
Okay. Even though, when I brought him in, I was told that, the first 24 hours, you're probably not going to see improvement.
Yeah. I think my concern at this point is that not only are we not seeing improvement, and now we're past that 24-hour mark, but they're actually increasing. And it's possible they'll continue to increase at this point if he's not responded to fluids as of yet. And just dialysis in general, doing it sooner than later is usually best.
And what's involved with dialysis?
Yeah, so dialysis, like I was saying, generally it's something that's performed every day for a few days until they check his kidney values and find they're improved. They're not doing them further. They put a dialysis catheter in, so they put a catheter into his neck that he keeps in hospital during that time, and they hook the tubing up to that each day to filter out his blood. The big drawback to dialysis and why it's not an option for a lot of people is the cost.
Yeah, what is the cost?
It's very expensive. I can get an estimate if it's something you're considering, but I would say that treatment itself, at least $5,000 up to $10,000 just for dialysis alone.
Okay.
So I just want to put that out there, just in case it's something you want to think about.
Yeah, it's definitely something I want to think about. The question is, after he goes through that dialysis, and then what's the prognosis after that?
So acute kidney injury in general, where there's something that happens suddenly that injured his kidneys, and it's not that he has this degeneration over time, which we're not seeing. We think it was more sudden, right? 30% of cats will not recover from it, unfortunately. They'll continue to worsen even with everything we do. 30% of cats will have some recovery, but will have some injury to their kidneys for the rest of their life. So they'll have some elevated kidney values that will need to be supported for the rest of their lifetime. And then 30% can recover and have the kidney values go back to normal.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely want to consider that.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of going into the city for it though. So I don't know if there's good options in New Jersey or. Yeah.
So Red Bank.
I don't even know where that is.
Down by the shore, kind of by Asbury Park.
Or where the fires are.
Oh, are there fires right now? I didn't even know.
Oh, there's a ton of wildfires. Yes.
Oh gosh.
Thousands of acres in Ocean County.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a hospital that does it. University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia, the veterinary school.
Yeah, that's crazy far too.
Yeah. So just something to think about. I think if we're, leaning away from that too, and we're looking to see what else can we do, we can continue the fluids. We can see how he responds to them. We'll evaluate the protein today, see if we can figure out what's causing this swelling around his neck. And then other things that we can consider, I'm going to call the lab and see if the sample that we sent of the kidney and the spleen, when we send it, the test that we do is they look at those cells and they say, do they look like cancer cells?
Yeah.
I can see if we have a good enough sample with them that we can add on another test that is kind of more of is this cancer or not? And it doesn't usually give us what cancer it is, but it can say, yes, these are cancerous. So that could give us a little more information of, are we dealing with cancer of the kidneys and the spleen, and that's kind of what's caused this injury. The other thing we can consider doing is sending out a blood test on him to look for an infectious disease called FIP, feline infectious peritonitis.
So that?
Feline infectious peritonitis is a virus that cats get. It's a virus, it's a coronavirus, not the same as COVID, but it is a similar family of viruses. It's a virus that generally lives in cats for their lifetime. Most cats have it, not all cats. but most do. And over time, sometimes it can mutate, and it can cause a systemic disease. And it can affect the kidneys, and it can affect the intestines, and all these signs. Which, at this point we're concerned, is there something going on systemically? So it's definitely on our list. The test that's really the best for that is, a lot of the time, cats that get that disease have fluid buildup around their organs, in their belly. He doesn't really have any fluid. So that's good, but also I don't have any fluid that I can remove, that I can test. And so I can't run the best test. So one thing we could do instead is, he's so funny, checking a blood test. So the blood test, like I was saying, a lot of cats have this virus. Whether it mutates or not decides if it causes disease in them. Running the blood test can tell us, does he even have it in his body? If he has it, it supports that it's possible he's developed this mutated disease from it. It can't be definitive, but it helps support that. If it's negative, if it says he has no coronavirus in his body, then we know, then if he doesn't even have the virus, then it can't cause this mutated disease.
Okay.
Okay.
I was gonna blend him up some more food now, because he almost he ate all that. I was just gonna plug this in. That's a lot. I mean, it's a lot.
I know.
Like, I don't want to give up on him, because he has a lot of life left in him. It's not like my other cat was. She was just out of it, like lethargic, completely out of it and everything. And I'm willing to do what it takes to try to get him through this, without causing him, like, to try to minimize, like, his stress level and everything.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I feel like anything you guys can do here to kind of pinpoint it would be great before, if he was to go through dialysis. I'd rather...
I do think if we're trying to keep that in mind, like his comfort and what stress level he would experience, I do think, even if ideally, in an ideal world, if this was a human, we could tell them, this is the best thing for you to get dialysis and to get a kidney biopsy. That would be great. But he is a cat, and he doesn't understand. And so there is, I think, going to be a higher stress level with him transferring to another hospital, possibly going through this procedure each day, possibly having a biopsy of his kidneys. So while that may be good, I think from what you're saying, I agree it may not be the best option for him. So then if we
I don't want to rush him into that if I don't have to rush him into that.
Yeah, and I think we can kind of put it to the side for now.
I'm going to definitely think about it and look into it. Please give me information as, like, who does that. And that'll give me, like, in 24, 48 hours to, like, look through that.
We'll give it some time. We'll kind of put it to the side, but think about it for now. And then what can we do today? So we'll continue the fluids, continue the antibiotics. I am going to call the lab and see if we can add on that test to see if yes or no there's cancer cells in this. I think that's something, we already took that sample, so we didn't have to do another sample or anything. And then we've already taken blood today. I'm going to look at that. And I'll see. I think if you're open to it, it would be good to send out that blood test and see does he have that coronavirus as well.
Whatever you guys fed him last night, I don't know if it was written down, whatever dry food or pate, he enjoyed it.
He liked it?
Yeah, so I don't know if you still have it.
We should have it written down.
Because he was definitely eating that dry food. He doesn't want the Temptations. He doesn't want the Origin. These are some Friskies. He likes his food pureed like this, which is why I did it. If he eats this, then that's the equivalent. Like 2 of these pouches, they're 62 calories each. So that's like almost like a full meal if he eats 2 of these.
Yeah, no, that's
Do you want me to leave you some of these pouches?
Sure.
I don't know how many extras I have.
We can.
I mean, I'll be back later anyway. I'll just... At least he ate something.
Yeah, I think this is great. He definitely, obviously he seems so much more comfortable with you. I think if you're able to do this each day while he's
I could be here all day, but I don't want to, cause problem with you guys. I could just bring my laptop and work here, that's not a problem.
Yeah, I think, if you want to come once a day or if you even want to come twice a day, as long as we limit it to, an hour total per day, just because time he's here, he obviously doesn't receive the fluids.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Then I'll do like a half hour in the middle of the day. I'll do a half hour later in the day.
Perfect.
That way he'll see me.
So he'll eat, and I think that's great because I know that you were very concerned about him eating too, which I agree.
Yeah, because one of the issues I had with the last cat that passed is hepatic lipidosis.
Yeah.
And so that's always in my mind.
Yeah, and I think if we can keep him eating this way, the other thing I considered talking to you about today that I think if he's eating like this, we don't need to do right now.
You mean like a feeding
is
tube?
Placing a feeding tube would be something.
Yeah, I was gonna, if he wasn't gonna eat anything, I was gonna see about maybe trying to force feed him something with the syringe, but, because I know the last cat that I had, she was on a feeding tube, she didn't like it at all.
Okay, yeah.
Here, Bo.
Okay. I am gonna go see if we can get more of that kibble for you, the dry food.
Yeah, I don't know what it was,
from
but
yesterday.
he was very interested in that.
Good.
So maybe we would eat that.
And I'm gonna get those tests ordered, and then I will give you a call later today, and we'll discuss more.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I had one other question.
Sure.
So he had a blood test. Is today Thursday? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So a week ago he had the blood test. We had to
Yes.
wait until like Tuesday to get the results. So then the blood test that you guys are going off of, did you do a blood test when you guys took him in and then did another blood test?
Yes. So he's been getting blood tests each day.
Like one?
We're not doing the testing that he had last week is a full like every value in the body blood test.
Yeah.
We're doing a more minimal sampling every day because he also does, which he's had historically, he has a mild anemia.
Yeah, that's why I'm concerned.
So we don't want to draw too much blood.
And that's what happened with my last cat. They took, I don't even want to tell you how much they took out. They took out 17% of our blood in 48 hours. Yeah, it was a nightmare.
Yeah, so we're trying not to pull too much blood, obviously, to limit that.
Yeah.
But enough to just check his kidney values every day, monitor his anemia.
Yeah.
The blood proteins and everything I'm running today, we haven't checked in a few days because we were trying to limit sampling and he didn't have any other issues that indicated it.
Yeah.
So today we're going to run a bit of a larger panel though.
Okay.
I'm glad to see him here with you though. He seems very comfortable and happy.
I'm his favorite person in the world, so it's a big responsibility. He likes this beef baby food. It's not complete cat food, but he's eating it.
That's,
and,
whatever
just
he
trying
likes,
to get calories in right
yeah,
now.
I think that's great.
Okay, Boo. Boo, you're doing good. He hears every noise, but I could tell he's drugged out right now.
Yeah.
Okay, come on. What is he on?
He's getting gabapentin right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just a low dose, but he seems to like it. He seems more comfortable so far.
Yeah, he's spaced out.
I know. Okay, I'm gonna go see if I can get that food for you. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. It was nice meeting you, and I'll talk with you again later today. Okay.
Okay, great. Here's Boo. He's eating some food. I came to visit him for lunch, and he's been eating pretty good so far. I had a nice long talk with the vet. They're going to do a few more tests today, try to rule out a few other things. And then they think maybe it might be best for him to be transferred to another hospital who can do dialysis. Here's Boo. So he has some fluid buildup under his chin. So he looks like he has a big beard right now. So here's Boo. He's been eating a little bit more food. He's on gabapentin right now, so he's kind of out of it. You okay, buddy? You right, sweetie? Okay, sweetie? You doing okay, Boo? You doing okay? You're a good boy. It is 4:27 p.m. Here's Nancy. She's laying on the bed. So I went to the animal hospital today, and I gave Boo lunch because they said he hadn't been eating since I saw him yesterday. Thankfully, he ate some food, and I got to speak to the vet that was there today. And she told me that the biopsies came back, and the biopsies did not show cancer. I guess that's good. And also what happened to Boo overnight is he's building up fluid underneath his chin. And when I saw him, he looks like he has a big double chin. Also, they have him on gabapentin because they said that he was trying to get out of his cage last night. Like after I went to visit him, like I know he did not want me to leave. And when he was visiting me in the exam room, like he was trying to get out of the room. So like after they put him back in the cage, I guess he kept trying to get out of the cage. He wanted to like leave. I don't blame him. So they ended up giving him some gabapentin just to like calm him down, keep him, take his anxiety down a bit. So when I saw him today, he's kind of drugged out from that. They said his kidney levels have not come down. They actually went up a little bit. And they wanted to do another test today to check his protein level to see if maybe his protein is so low, that's what's causing the fluid buildup. When that came back, she said his protein was low, obviously, because he hasn't been eating for like 2 days, but it wasn't really low enough to cause that. She also said that she does not think this is chronic kidney disease. She thinks this is acute kidney disease because it came on really fast, and it really more has symptoms of that than like the chronic kidney disease. So that's why what she suggested is to actually transfer Boo to a different animal hospital where he could get dialysis, and he would be on dialysis for a few days to get his numbers down to normal, because she said that the fluids that they're giving there really haven't been like improving his numbers. So that's where that stands. And what else happened? So Boo did eat some food. He ate a bunch of wet food that I gave him. He was out of sorts because he was on the gabapentin. And he was super, super happy to see me. I'm going to go back later to see if he could eat dinner. I'm waiting for a call back from the vet because she's going to find out, if he could be transferred to the other animal hospital. And if so, when? Would that be today? Would that be tomorrow? How would that work? He would be there for several days. Hopefully the dialysis would be able to make a difference. What she told me is that for about a third of the patients, it really doesn't help. For about a third of the patients, it does help, like it, shows good improvement. And for another third of the patients, it's like a really, really great recovery from it. It just depends on the condition of the cat and what's causing the kidney issues. And unfortunately, they don't know. They don't know what's causing Boo's kidney issues. So that's why they're suggesting this. They've done all these tests. They're looking around for whatever they could find. And, they don't know. They don't even know what's building up the fluid. And I do have to say that this animal hospital is much more equipped than the emergency room Stella went to. It's a day and night difference, like complete difference. Everyone here has been super professional. Everyone here has just been like really great as far as just like the information and everything. And so I'm just going to see what happens. I have to get some stuff done around the house, and then I'm going to go see Boo, bring him some dinner, and wait to hear back from the vet. If he does transfer to the other animal hospital, it's an hour and 20 minutes away. So it's quite a distance to drive.
She has some concern that there is underlying chronic degeneration of the kidneys, where even if we do dialysis, which we would really only do in the acute setting, because the hope is then the kidneys can support themselves after. If we get rid of that acute component causing his kidney values to be high, and he still has that degeneration underlying, then will we do all that and kind of be in a similar spot and never really have his kidney values resolved and still be dealing with this? And she said, we can do it if you understand all those risks and would like to. But she did also give me an estimate that for his case, she would recommend dialysis daily for a 2-week course, which is about $30,000.
Oh my gosh.
Which is obviously very expensive. And then especially if we're not sure if his kidney values will still be elevated after that, she's not sure if the risk really weighs the benefit there. She also expressed, because he seems still alert, he's comfortable overall, he's eating with you, we may do more harm than good in the short term.
With the dialysis right now?
She said that in her experience, cats with dialysis, because when we do that, we're pretty much removing some blood volume, removing the toxins from it, and then putting it back in. But there is a moment in time when we're in that cycle where there's less blood in their body.
Yeah.
And that can kind of make them feel crummy in the short term before they feel better.
Okay.
And then on top of it, he has this anemia.
Yeah.
So it's likely that he would need a blood transfusion if we did dialysis. And she also expressed that currently Red Bank doesn't have a stock of cat blood. There's a back order on that.
Yeah.
And so if you were interested, she also would recommend that you went to a hospital that had that supply in case it was needed. So those are kind of her thoughts overall, just discussing his case with her. Additionally, as far as the kidneys, she agreed with me whether we want to consider it now or if he is not eating with you and not taking oral medications well, it's definitely a consideration to do a feeding tube for medication, but also just for the fact of being able to give him water through that, just to keep him hydrated. So I think where we're at now, I'm not sure I would recommend the dialysis. I think it's an option if we want to look into it further. But after getting her input from her experience, I don't know if it's the best choice for Boo.
Okay. So the best choice right now would just be to continue the way you guys are treating him?
Yeah, we would continue supportive care. We'll wait on our test results to come back, and we'll see where his kidney values are at tomorrow.
Okay.
And I think if tomorrow we are not seeing improvement, then we decide again, do we want to do another day on fluids, or do we wean him off of the fluids and send him home because he seems more comfortable with you as well.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be best for him, doing the medications at home. And then I don't know if you've done in the past like fluid injections under the skin, subcutaneous fluids.
No.
We can go through that with you on how to do that at home. That's usually the best treatment for cats that have high kidney values long term. Getting some fluids under the skin each day just to supplement their hydration.
Okay. Okay. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of choices here, but that's fine.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately we can only support him the best we can. We just have to see how he responds.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. Now, with the fluid underneath his chin, could that be from the collar around his neck? Because he doesn't usually wear a collar.
I think it's unlikely. It's very loose.
Is it
collar?
very loose?
I can remove it and see if it helps. But I'm not positive, honestly, the exact cause of that.
Yeah, that
swelling yet.
Yeah.
We took x-rays tonight.
Yeah.
And we're waiting on the x-ray, the radiologist report, but we didn't find any obvious cause for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just something that I was thinking, because usually, when you have something weird, it could be, you never know.
I know. I did give him, in case he was having some kind of allergic reaction too, I gave him an injection of Benadryl to see if that improves it at all tonight, so we can give it some time and see if that helps.
Oh, is that going to make him sleepy?
It can make them a little quiet, but I checked on him. He's not sedate by any means.
Okay.
I think if anything, it's making him more comfortable in hospital.
Okay, because I was going to come by at 8 to give him some more food.
Oh yeah, no, that's totally fine.
Okay. All
He
right.
should be good for that.
Okay.
He'll probably be similar to when you saw him earlier. Honestly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Great.
Okay with you. That's kind of our plan at this point. Continue the fluids. We'll see where we're at tomorrow, and then we'll come up with a plan from there.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Bye.
It is 7 p.m. here, Simba, and I got a call from the animal hospital, I don't know, maybe an hour ago, with regards to Boo's situation. So the animal hospital called the other animal hospital that does the dialysis and spoke to a woman there who's very, very experienced, and they told her about Boo's case. And the woman at the dialysis hospital thinks it's not good for Boo to do it now because of his anemia situation. And she also doesn't want to make him worse than he is. Because of his current condition, she's concerned that doing dialysis, if it was too soon, could, hamper a potential recovery on his own. It could, make him worse. She explained that when, they're doing dialysis, some of his blood is leaving his body and it's getting filtered through the machine. And if he's already anemic, he could require a blood transfusion. And unfortunately, they don't have cat blood there. So she said that there's like a shortage of cat blood right now. She also mentioned the cost. She thinks that it would be like 2 weeks of dialysis and it would be $30,000, which is a lot of money. So she thinks maybe it's not a right time to do it. Maybe potentially if things take a different direction, it would be like a last resort type thing. So the vet at the animal hospital where Boo is right now, as well as the vet at the other animal hospital with the dialysis, they both think it's, not a good thing for Boo to do right now. So the plan is I'm going to go there in an hour and hopefully he's going to eat some dinner. We'll get him fed. And then they're going to just continue the course of treatment. And, they've sent out a few other tests for him. They're waiting test results. And she also mentioned the possibility of letting him just come home and then me administering the fluids here because he'd be more comfortable, he'd be more relaxed, and he eats better when I'm around. And she just thinks just in general he might do better than where he is now in the animal hospital. So that could potentially be good. I just hope he stays where he is now, doesn't get worse. I also mentioned to her that, maybe he has the fluid under his chin because of that e-collar that's around his neck. They have the e-collar around his neck and then they have it tied around his neck. And she said, well, it's pretty loose. And I said, well, but he's not used to wearing a collar at all. And, all these fluids are going into him. So there could be a chance that, they're not draining out of that area properly. So she said, well, we probably could take the e-collar off and see how that goes. So, that's where I left it with her. Right now, I'm feeding the cats. That's Simba and Splash's dinner. They're having some leftover raw food, and they're going to try one of the wellness morsels pouches, a little bit of that, and then some crunchies on top along with some freeze-dried chicken. I don't know where Splash is. I think he's sitting on a chair somewhere. Splash, go and eat. I gave you your dinner. It's in the other room, okay? So yesterday when I came back, Splash and Simba were sitting on cat towers in the living room. I'm going to go put some videos on for them to watch, and I got to go feed the Lucky 7. Another thing that the vet at the dialysis hospital mentioned is that based on her experience, she does not think that this is acute kidney disease. She thinks it sounds more like chronic because, he had been kind of off of his regular food for about a month. It was about a month that Boo, didn't want to eat his normal food, but he'd eat other food. He'd eat different food. And it's only, recently that he's gotten picky, but, it does seem like it's something that has been like over the course of several weeks versus something sudden over the course of several days. How you doing, Boo? You're a good boy. You're a good boy, Boo. You're a good boy. They left the line on him because they say they've been having problems connecting it and unconnecting it. So I just put his music on so he'll stay calm. I brought his tunnel for him. Now, will you eat some food, please? Want to eat some food, please? Which food would you like? Okay, eat good, Boo. There's a lot of food here. Okay. Please eat something. Please eat something, Boo. All Boo wants to do is pace around the room, jump on the counter. I think it's because this room is for like gerbils and guinea pigs and stuff like that. He smells something. Boo, please eat some food, will you please? Here, eat these. Come here, Boo. Come here, Boo. Here's Boo. He just ate a little bit of baby food. He had a little bit of Monterey medley. He's just like grazing today, a few temptations. He hears people outside vacuuming like the hallway, so he's flipped out by that. And I believe in this room they do like, small animals bunnies, birds, that kind of stuff. So he definitely smells them. Here's Boo. He wants to jump on the counter and just see what's going on up here. He's drinking some water right now. It is 9:40 p.m. Hey, Sammy. Hello, Sammy. There's little Eva. There's Nancy. There's Richard. Hello, Sammy. It is 9:40 p.m. And I just got home a little while ago from visiting with Boo. And the entire time I was with him, it was almost an hour, he did not sit down the entire time. He just paced around the room, hunting whatever he was smelling. I don't know if he was smelling like a rodent, a guinea pig, a bird, a lizard, a ferret. I don't know what he smelled, but that was definitely like a small animal room. He smelled something and he was trying to hunt it. And the entire time he was just like pacing around the room. He wanted to jump up on the counter multiple times, and he had that IV line attached to him, so I had to pick him up and put him up there. Then he wants to jump down, so I would have to pick him up and bring him back down to the floor. So I basically spent an hour chasing Boo around the room. He was not as drugged up as he was earlier today. Earlier today, you could tell he was on the gabapentin, and right now he didn't really seem to be on much of anything. He was afraid of the noises that he heard in the hallway when they started vacuuming, because the cleaners vacuum the halls at night. He was afraid of the vacuum. So he's definitely on edge. He didn't want to eat that much food. He took a few bites of something, he took a few bites of something else. He drank a ton of water, probably drank 4 ounces of water, half a cup. He ate a few Temptations. But his focus was really more on hunting whatever he was smelling. So I was disappointed that they would put a cat in a small animal room. And when we were leaving and the vet tech came to get him, I told her what happened, that, he spent the whole time hunting something that he must smell, the small animals, that were in the room previously. And she told me that they usually clean the room pretty well, between patients. But obviously cats have super smelling. So not a good idea to put a cat in a small rodent room, small animal room for a visit. They just get too agitated and they go into hunting mode. At least Boo did. Other than that, he looked okay. He's still swollen under his chin. And I just could not believe how much energy he had. And I put him on the scale. He weighs 14.5 pounds, but I'm sure a lot of that is the fluids that he's been getting. And yeah, that's the situation. I'm exhausted. Boo just totally exhausted me out. So I hope he relaxes. I hope he gets sleep. Oh, and they brought him into the room in a cardboard carrier, a box. And I was like, oh, he's in a box today? She goes, yeah, sometimes he's really hard to handle when I put him in a blanket. Previously, they've been wrapping him up in a blanket to bring him to the room and from the room. But today she put him in a cardboard carrier because, she said, he wiggles around a lot. Sometimes he's hard to carry. And so what happened was when she was ready to take him back, he always hides underneath a chair. So I have to move the chair and then I pick him up and I'm like, okay, Boo, it's nice seeing you. You got to go back now. And when I put him back in the cardboard carrier, he was not happy and he was hissing at her. So it's exactly what happened yesterday when she came to get him. He was underneath a chair and he was hissing at her. So she is definitely not one of his favorite people, or he just probably doesn't want to leave me, which is more likely the case, because I know he had a great time when I was there and he really enjoyed the time that he spent with me. So when someone takes him away, he does not like that. But at least I'm hoping he gets the idea now that I haven't left him there, that I'll be back to visit him, because the first time I visited him, he might have thought that was the last time he saw me, I wasn't going to come back. Maybe that's why he was trying to get out of his cage all night. So Hopefully he's not going to try to get out of his cage all night again. Hopefully he'll be more relaxed because he'll understand that I'll be back. I'm just hoping everything goes well tonight for him. I'm hoping that, you know, things stay stable throughout the night and that tomorrow I might be able to bring him home and just do fluids at home. Because the other thing that I was thinking, you know, while I was there, he wasn't really eating much. And it was just like, here we go again. We're exactly back where we are when I took him to, you know, the vet or to the animal hospital to begin with, because he, you know, was being super finicky with his food and he wasn't eating. The only difference is that they've done a bunch of tests and, you know, they've been giving him fluids. But other than that, we're right back where we were.
Thank you for watching this Lucky Ferals video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you'd like me to post more videos, and please make sure to check out these other videos that were selected especially for you.